I started playing ladies events and women's events when I was like 12, 13. So I was always used to sort of being like the underdog and being young and maturing into it. So by the time I was supposed to feel pressure, I was used to it. But then I sort of went onto professional golf and I was like, whoa, this is crazy. I grew up in England, so weather-wise, it's really difficult in the winter, you know. We were thinking maybe Chiara gets serious about this golf thing and she wants to pursue it, then we're gonna need to look into going somewhere warmer. My mom got a job offer in Dubai and we looked into it and we just thought this is perfect. You know, it ticked all the boxes, it's year-round training, the golf courses are perfect. And then when I moved here, it was a very different shift because obviously it gets darker a little later and it's warmer, so you can also practice, you know, better. So my school has like a golf program, which is something fun. So I get to leave school early at 12, 3 times a week. It's just better. And then I have like designated study sessions during school. I have teacher support. They're aware that I leave. They're aware that I play golf. A lot of them play golf themselves. So I think they understand exactly what I'm doing. And I just get a little bit more support in that sense. And just having those support back home and knowing exactly what I need to do to catch up.
It's helped her to develop as a person, to find the balance, being a normal human, a normal teenager, and not being so exhausted. That means she has 3 times a week, only up to 12 o'clock school. There's plenty of time to see her friends, to practice, and still catching up school. And this balance in this young age was really needed.
My family and I, we've always been very adamant about me continuing school and me getting my A-levels done and just graduating. But I think I've done an okay job so far of just maintaining things, that if I have a round in the morning or when I do practice rounds, I schedule it towards the first half of the day and then I study the second half. So I just got to be committed to it, I think. There's no perfect way of doing it, but it is what it is. The course and school are like 2 separate worlds. I think I'm a different person as well. On the golf course, I get very serious, you know, I'm focused. It's a job, you know, I'm competing. And then I get to school and I'm just like a kid. But it's good. I think it keeps you grounded a little bit. I don't get too focused on the golf stuff. I don't get my head twisted in too much stress. I think it helps regulate me a little bit. I spent basically all of 2021 afterwards sort of working on that myself and working on like the mindset and mentality it takes to perform on tour, because a lot of people forget just how much the head plays in golf. I struggled for a while, I must admit, because I was just not necessarily prepared for that. It's just about focusing on the golf and controlling the things you can control, and then just being comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because on the golf course, you can't really control a lot of things. There's so many variables that you just sort of have to suck up and deal with. Now I can recognize how I react and, you know, what happens to my body when I'm nervous. I think I've got rid of the first tee jitters, which is really nice. And it's just recognizing signs early on and then just understanding yourself and being able to solve those.
I'm always impressed with every interview in this pressurized environment, especially if she plays Aramco Team Series, competing with the best in the world. But she's just doing it. I'm just impressed.
I want to be the best in the world. You want to be world #1. I think that's what every golfer dreams of. And I'm going to keep working towards that. Hopefully it'll come true one day. It was a great week. I got there really early, got Chris on the bag, tried to go through everything. And I was nervous because obviously it was the first time I had a professional caddy on the bag. So it was definitely out of the comfort zone for sure. There were moments where I was like, oh, I wish Dad was here. But I think we handled it really well. Chris was really good at just keeping me composed, and he was very good at making me commit to everything that we did. Like, just the language that he used was very like, I love this, you know, commit to that, rather than where my dad might have been like, oh, I don't know if this is the right club, and I would have been sat there like shaking. My dad's done such an excellent job all season, just with his clubs, with how he's done. I think he's been so great. But one of the main things we've said is he's Dad. It's not even the job he's done, it's just who he is. So at times he was more nervous than I was. And I think that sometimes that seeped through a little bit. So if he was nervous, I could feel that significantly more than if it was some stranger on the bag, you know? So I can read him like a book. Score-wise, I made eagle on 4. So that was obviously big in the final round. That sort of got me caught up pretty quickly with the girls that were out in front. So that was probably one of the ways that I managed to get out there in front in the first place, with those, like, making use of those little opportunities. 16, I played very well just because of the circumstance. I was very nervous, and I made that birdie, and it was a big birdie momentum-wise.
Unbelievable. What a round of golf this is from Chiara Noja.
I had a feeling she will really make it. There is a big chance that she can go as a winner from Jeddah. And end of the day, she had a really good start and was hitting beautiful from the tee. And then I was really confident there is nobody taking it away from her today.
16 was like the first moment where I was like, okay, well, it's sort of spread out a little bit in like the leaderboard, and that's when my dad was like, #1, you know, that's what he was trying to signal to me, like, you're leading, because there's no leaderboard, you don't really see that. And then I got onto 16, I was like, oh, okay, cool.
And in this moment, I had really to cry, and I realized, oh my gosh, what's getting on? She has really a chance to win it. And yeah, then she made a bogey on the 17th.
Charlie Hole is in the rear view mirror. Noja goes back to 13 under par.
When you stood on 18 and you're like in a playoff against Charlie Hole, and you're just like, I've watched her play in majors, you know? I've stalked her on Instagram, if you know what I mean. So it was just a weird feeling for sure. And she was such an amazing girl out there, I think, so I still look up to her a lot. Like, that has not changed whatsoever.
The latest young star has arrived on the Ladies European Tour. Remember the name, Chiara Noja. She's just beaten Charlie Hart to win the Aramco Team Series Jeddah.
I wasn't necessarily nervous. I was just like, okay, well, let me focus and do it, and then I can celebrate. You know, first thought was go hug Dad. I was like, you know, he was really emotional. He was bawling his eyes out. It was super cute.
Then she was really looking at me, and I've seen this excitement in her eyes, how happy she was, and then I had just for happiness to cry. There's no better feeling that children are excited to see you and happy to share this with you, and this was just emotional.
And I came off the golf course, sort of got swept away into a bubble of like media and signing the scorecard and autographs and that sort of stuff. But yeah, like, I didn't really manage to process all that much on the day. It was only sort of when I got home where I was like, like, this is pretty dang cool. And I usually put all my trophies in like the office, but I took that one into my room. Aramco, thank you.